Welcome one more time, everybody. Hey, Noah, how are you doing? Can you hear me?
I'm doing great. Yep, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. So thank you for coming here on the Saturday, and let's jump right into it. What we're going to be talking about today is our very cool cutting edge. We have never offered something, and let me go back. We have never ever offered something like this as done for you. But before we go into that, before we go in to the done for you direct mail partnership opportunity, how you can literally work one-on-one with Noah Warren and ourselves as well, we're going to go over something cool, and that's basically how to turn 50 little envelopes into 12 callbacks, meaning 24% conversion. Sorry, actually 19 callbacks and 12 closes, which is a close ratio of 50 envelopes, which is ridiculous. I mean, there is nothing that I've ever witnessed in my marketing career like this, and that was so well put together, and that resulted in $11,186 worth of closes, and I think was it 1,200 or 1,500 recurring
On that is 1200.
on that 1,200, and that's just from this. There are more cooler developments, but the first thing that I wanted to ask Noah, so that we can kind of get people acclimated with everything. Can you give us a run through of the timeline that I know you prepared here? So I just wanted to on. And do you see my screen, by the way, Noah?
Yep, yeah, I see it.
Okay. Yeah, kind of a run through of how just a real quick before we get into the nitty gritty of it, of how it all went down.
Sure. Well, like I said, I mean, I had gotten the program, went through it, that same day. Um, started using the mass mailer on the WP Lead Explosion, and then after doing that, a day later, I decided, after being on a webinar where you said, you could use the WP Lead Explosions and print them out and use them in person or for direct mailing purposes. I decided to mix it up with some direct mailers, and so I did a beta test where I did 50 mail pieces. Basically, I just took my leads from WP Lead Explosion that I had already emailed, printed out 50 of them, wrote a handwritten letter. I attached a dollar bill, and I just explained to them, I just wrote a few paragraphs explaining, this dollar bill represents one of many that you guys are losing by having a broken website, and then I would go into a little deeper saying, by broken I mean that you don't have a good mobile experience, and if you look at the attachment here, this is what your site looks like right now, and this is what it could look like, and you could see the difference between it. And then I gave a couple, mobile statistics, and did some Google keyword research, and said, say for example, I was a plumber in Orlando. I would look up, how many searches were being done from mobile devices, and then I broke that down to daily. So I think in one instance it was like 30 to 40 mobile searches a day. So I explained, there's 30 to 40 mobile searches being done right now for your particular niche in your particular area, just for this one keyword. I'm sure you can agree there's 100 different ways to search for something, but this is just one keyword here, and that's bringing in 30 to 40 searches a day. And according to statistics, 60% of those will lead to a sale. So what would it mean for your business if you were bringing in additional, even based on low conversion rates, 3 to 5 extra deals a day? And then, explain to them, we've rolled out an entire mobile suite. It does everything from mobile sites to, mobile apps, mobile coupons, text message marketing. But the most important thing to start is the mobile experience, the mobile website. So you should have that up and running as quickly as possible. Great things that we can have this up and running for you in the next 24 to 48 hours. Here's my number. Here's my website. Give me a call. We'll get this going for you. Sent it out on, so I did that on Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. Wednesday morning I sent them out. Then that following Friday, which was 2 days later, by that afternoon I got my first call. The guy called me up, and I sold him, I want to say that first one was probably like a $7.99 deal up front and $200 a month recurring. Um, so, I was excited. I saw that it was working, and I thought, even if I got 1 out of 50, that would be fantastic. But then over the next couple of days, they started coming in more and more, and then by like a week and a half, 2 weeks later, as you can see, I mean, I got over 19 phone calls back. Out of that 19, I was able to close 12 of them. I mean, and just since this test with these numbers that you're seeing, I've also closed more of them. I mean, in total, I've probably now by this point send out something like 200 to 250 mail pieces. I've brought on 20 clients. I've made somewhere in the ballpark of $25,000 in the last 2 months. So $25,000 a month. I mean, upfront fees, and I'm right around like 3,200 in monthly recurring.
That is, I mean, that's that's respectable to say the least. You know. And all right, let's get into a little bit more in detail into some of the stuff. So, so is the first thing you did, right? You gathered a lot of the leads, so you just kind of hit up your outsourcer and told them to fill out that WP Lead Explosion CSV file. Is that basically just what you did?
Right. Well, you had sent out the sample CSV, had to set it up so that you could upload into WP Lead Explosion. I basically just had them. I gave them an area. I gave them five different niches, and I said, I want 20 to 25 leads in 5 different spreadsheets for 5 different niches. And then once you gather those leads, scrub them against Mobilizer to make sure that they come up so that we can see whether they have a mobile presence or not. I'm looking for people who don't. So then I built those lists, or had them build those lists rather. Then they sent them to me. I uploaded it into WP Lead Explosion and just started going to work on it. And thus since, I mean, like I said, when I first started, it was just really, I was having them do the CSV files and building the lead list, and then I was taking over and doing pretty much everything else. Since then, since I've gotten good results and I've got business coming in, I'm starting to let go a little bit more in the different areas and outsource all the details so I can just focus on more money-making things.
Uh-huh. And I mean, completely right, because once you get that machine kind of moving, it's all about, all right, let's take these phone calls, let's start closing these deals, and eventually, I mean, that's not something we'll be covering here, but discussions about kind of telemarketers and how they can actually close deals on your behalf. That's where you eventually want to move it. I mean, you got to kind of take it one step at a time. First, you obviously start doing it yourself, and it does take quite a bit of time, hours and hours, but generating the leads and packing up the direct mail yourself. But you got to take it one step at a time as you grow your business and start figuring out, all right, how can I outsource this? How can I outsource that? And main thing is, how can I scale it up? How can I scale it up quickly?
Oh, of course. I mean, it's definitely what, once you start getting your first couple clients, to be able to take that and start reinvesting back into your business so that you can scale it up and bring in more people. I mean, because if you try to do this yourself, all the time, you're going to burn yourself out. You're just going to be swamped with the smaller details like stuffing envelopes and going back and forth into the post office and what have you.
Yeah.
That's time that could be spent doing more money-making things.
Yeah, and I remember the first time that we did one of our direct mail campaigns. This was back when I still had a job. I used to. I went to work and I would just leverage all of their resources for free. And I was working actually here in Germany, so we were targeting clients back in the U.S. and that was like the origin of WP Lead Explosion and why we decided, all right, how do we automate these processes a little bit more? But yeah, I could say that was quite a bit of fun, printing all those things out, annotating it, writing all of that stuff, and it did take quite a bit of time. But I mean, if you want to talk about, I mean, I guess this is kind of straightforward. For your first test, right? You had basically 50 pieces, 50 envelopes. It was all printed out in color, thrown in that WP Lead Explosion printout that matched the niche, and then either you also had a handwritten letter there, like you mentioned before, and then either the dollar bill or some lumpy mail, right? You've been kind of testing out different lumpy mail objects.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I started the initial beta test was just started with the dollar bills. Just adding a dollar bill to each of those 50. Since then, I've been doing beta tests anywhere from 20 to 50 at a time with different things that we call lumpy mail, which it could be anything that really just you can stuff in that envelope to give it a little bit of volume or texture, make it feel weird so that it intrigues people to open it to find out what it is that's in here.
And also it gets past the gatekeeper that way because,
of course.
because the gatekeeper is less likely to open it if they feel, all right, maybe this is something, and you put on their confidential, right?
Right. I always write on the envelope. It's always handwritten. There's never a return address, and I write confidential on it. Yeah, just like you see there. And then, so I've tested things like, throwing Band-Aids in there, have a little kitschy line about that. A piece of carpet I've done, aspirin. We've done a couple other things, but it's really just limited by your creativity. If you can think about something that will set you apart, make your envelope stick out of maybe 20 other direct mail pieces that they get that's just printed up, and it just looks like there was no personalization to it. You just look like everybody else. I mean, the key is to be able to do something that separates you. And like I said, just based on things, the feedback that I've gotten, when people call, I've had people say, many times, this is different than anything I ever receive. I get phone calls all the time. I get, mailers all the time, and it's all generic stuff. You actually took the time to look into my business, look for keywords specific to me, do something that makes it stand out, and it got my attention. And that's the key thing that we're going for here, is that we're trying to get their attention, disrupt their daily pattern, and get them to understand that what we're doing will help them. We're not just trying to sell them something like everybody else. We're trying to do something that will generally help them and bring in new business.
And it's also about marketing yourself. Honestly, if you can't position yourself correctly, if you can't market yourself correctly, you can't stand out. How are you going to help a business with their marketing campaign? And I think even if a business, maybe they don't necessarily think about it that way, psychologically, kind of subconsciously, that has an effect on them. And they're like, all right, this guy is effective in capturing my attention. He's probably going to be pretty effective in delivering on what he says he's going to deliver on. And that's also important.
Exactly.
Whereas if your direct mail campaign or whatever, your telemarketing campaign, whatever type of campaign is very cookie cutter, they're also going to expect, all right, when I hire this company, the product I'm going to get is also going to be very cookie cutter, and I don't necessarily want that. I could do that maybe myself, or that's not going to bring me the results. I need a personal, customized solution, and now I see that you're doing that with your own direct mail campaigns, so I think you're probably going to take that interest in me, and that's going to have a big effect on that potential client. So, So you stuffed basically the one of the printouts of the side-by-sides in there, and just changed a couple of things for the contact us now, and I see. There's nothing there's not much to it regarding this, right? Because I see that you still have some kind of text up top, but it doesn't really matter. The main part is that they see the side by side, they see this comparison, and then they see the details there and the text that doesn't necessarily look handwritten, but it does jump out on them. And did any of your clients make any comments about this side by side?
Oh yeah, they love it. I mean, it's like I said, it's the closest thing you can get to the way that you did it in that old picture, where it's actually literally handwritten.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, and I've thus since learned how to, stretch the picture and fill up the whole page. And, of course, these are just from my first run where I was still testing everything out. But yeah, I mean, they love that. It's one thing, and I've heard it from many people now. It's one thing to tell them your mobile site's broken and you'd need a mobile website and throw statistics down their throat and all this other stuff. It's another thing to actually show them. When they see it, it's like anything else, and I'll tell them, pull out your cell phone, go and look at your site and see how it is, and then back out of it and go to one of your competitors who do have it. Who would you rather do business with if you were the customer? If you go onto your site, you've got to scroll all over the place to try to find a phone number or the info that you want, and then you back out and you go to one of your competitors, and they make it as easy as possible. Tap to call functionality, services, all the stuff that they want to know right then and there. Who do you think that you're going to do business with? And you start asking them those questions and letting them see it for themselves. They get it. I mean, you guys have made it with your products. You've made it as simple as possible for it to sell itself. The hardest part is really just getting the clients and the customers. But once you've got something that captures their attention, you're able to get them to call you back. I mean, I'm closing probably 8 out of 10 people that call me at this point because you guys have made it that simple with this.
And because it
So
sets
really,
them
it's
up
just
along with the
right.
letter and
It sets
everything
them up,
like
and then
that.
I just really keep a consultant's edge on it. I ask them a lot of questions. I get them, saying yes to me over and over again. I tell them to pull out their cell phones, look at it, and get them to understand what it is that we're doing, what it is that we're offering, why it makes a difference, and they just get it, and it clicks. And then, if you keep it at obviously depending on the industry it's a little bit different, but keep it at a decent starting point, that's your foot in the door. And then once you've got that going, and then you can start showing them some results, then they're more inclined to buy other things. They're more inclined to upgrade to things like mobile apps or text message marketing or mobile coupons. And then, like I said, you keep showing them results and showing them getting business from it. You're going to have a client for life. I mean, and then from there, it's really just having that support line, having that face-to-face interaction, letting them know I'm here working for you, and we're not just trying to sell you something and push more products on you. We're doing stuff that's actually going to get you more business. And as they see it getting them more business, and you can show them viable results, you keep them happy. They're going to be with you forever.
And so I have a question about your follow-up. Basically,
Okay.
when you close the client, I mean, I know you mentioned before that, and I think this is a big mistake that a lot of people make. They get a little nervous and they just start talking, and then they can't stop talking because they think they need to keep the conversation moving. You take a little bit of a different approach, right? You ask questions. You really figure out the needs of that client.
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of been in sales in some aspect for the last 12 or 13 years. I mean, I did mortgage banking for a long time, and then I sold pretty much everything under the sun. And I knew, just from my own experience starting out, when you are nervous, I mean, especially on those first couple deals, or even just trying to get that first one deal, you want to impress them, and we have all this great stuff, and we've got all these great tools that does all this cool stuff. You kind of get into that thing where you just talk and talk and talk, and you try to, what can I say that'll impress them the most to be like, they need to have this. But I think, once you start showing them, that does it for you. So then really I'm, at that point, once I realize that they understand it, I feel like with the WP Lead Explosion printouts and things like that, if they're contacting you back, they already get it. So at that point, you're partially sold. Now you just got to ask them stuff that's going to put them over the edge. So, one of the oldest sales tricks in the book is to ask them questions and get them to the mentality of saying yes to you, so that when you get to the close, there's a lot less hesitation. So, I just take a purely consultant's view on it. I start asking them questions about their particular business. It's like anything else, when you meet anybody else, they want to talk about themselves. So, that's what, this is their business. This is, for most cases, these are their babies. They started this from nothing. you're showing a genuine interest and you're asking them things about their business, and then you get them into that mentality to keep saying yes. It just makes that close. By the time you get that close and you're ready to ask for the sale, it makes them that much easier. So I'm asking about their business, how many customers they have coming in on a regular basis, what's their busy days, what's their slow days. If you were to get this many extra leads a month, how would that help you? Based on even low conversions, if you took that many leads and you turned it into sales, what does that mean for your bottom line? Can you see that, how this would improve your quality of life, improve your quality of business? And you get, these are questions they're going to say yes to, and then once you got them on that roll, then you just move forward. You just get to where you got to go, and then you ask for the business. I mean, I know for some people, especially it was for me at the beginning, you can pitch and you can have the greatest sales presentation in the world, but if you don't ask for the business, you're not going to get it. So it's just doing this and then seamlessly moving into the close, asking for the business, and getting going.
Uh-huh. And so after you do the close and you basically sell them that mobile site, do you follow up with a questionnaire, or how does that work?
Well, after I close, I have a questionnaire that I send out, and it's got 10 or so questions specific to their business and their websites. And do you have, what's your current website? What color schemes do you want? Is there a particular coupon or offer that you'd like to have that they see when they come on? And I just asked them a few different questions to get more of a feel of, when I turn around and I relate the information to the person who I'm outsourcing the work to, it's a lot less back and forth. I want to kind of have it done as quickly as possible, because I'm telling them, especially for the mobile websites, I want to be able to churn these things out in 24 to 48 hours. So the more info I have, the better, so that by the time I bring back the product in the next day or two, it's not like, oh, can we fix this? Can we tweak this? Can we take this out? Can we put this in? Obviously, I give them a round of revisions to do that, but I also, by giving them that questionnaire, I'm kind of killing some of that back and forth. So by the time I come back, they say, it looks great, let's get it live, let's get going. And it's that.
Uh-huh. And do you have them sign usually some type of contract, or not really?
On the bigger ones, yes. I mean, I've had people close without a contract, but especially if they get it and they're excited and they realize that they have to have this mobile site. And basically, what's I think one of the good things is showing them a competitor site who's in their direct market, because most people in business know who their competitors are. So showing them a competitor who's doing it already and saying, you're losing clients to these people. They hate that because they know that they're competing against these people. So let's get this thing going right away. And I do most of my invoicing through PayPal, so I can keep it neat and organized. And then especially once you start bringing in recurring things like text message marketing, the appointment setters, and things like that, it's much easier for me to be able to do recurring billing through them without having to, send out an invoice every month and things like that, and keep on top of these people. So, that's the way that I do it. And, on my bigger clients, my attorneys, my dentists, and things like that, those bigger people, they want something in writing. So yeah, I mean, I have an invoice that I send out. I have a contract that they can sign, and I let them know that it's all confidential in nature. We're not sharing these. I also do pitch exclusivity. I tell them I only work with 1 or 2 people in this industry, in this area, so you're never going to have to worry about these methods becoming overwhelmed where everybody's doing it and then you're competing in the same type of market. So you have an advantage over your competitors, and I mean that also helps.
That's big.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a couple steps, right? I mean, you got to start with the direct mail campaign, make sure it's set up correctly, and then go through the close, and then make sure all the documentation and everything is there, because I know it myself. I mean, the back and forth, if you don't set up your processes correctly, is a freaking nightmare. And,
oh yeah, that's because I know when I first started, it was a nightmare. I mean, especially when you first start, you kind of get into that mentality that you're just trying to build your business, so you'll take anything that comes in, and you'll promise the world to these people because you want them to like you. You want them to buy from you. And so I've done that, and you just kind of winged it, and I've learned through trial and error how to cut down on these systems, and how to cut down the back and forth so that you can have the ability to scale. If you're wasting all your time going back and forth with, your first 1 or 2 clients, and they're taking up all your time, well, now it's killing your time to bring in new business. So, yeah, it's good. I mean, it's always a trial and error type of thing, but what we're trying to do for you with this program, I think, is cut down on all that stuff and really get you to the stuff that's going to keep you focused on making money and teach you how to use other resources and help you find other resources so that you can take away and outsource all the stuff that is time-consuming so that you take that time and focus just on getting new business.
Yeah. And I mean, at the end of the day, basically, I mean, the hard numbers from this system that you've developed, that you've tested, I mean, 50 direct mail pieces, 19 callbacks, 12 closed deals. Like I was saying, 24% conversions. It's unheard of, and it is extremely impressive. 11,000 plus upfront, 1,200 recurring fees. You said up until now, from just from when you've been starting doing these tests, you're at about $25,000 in closed deals. It's at the end of the day, it's pretty impressive. And okay, so the other thing I wanted to ask, and here's some kind of the package.
Oh yeah, I think this one's good because a couple of people were asking.
Yeah.
What are the prices? What are they for? What are they reoccurring for? So basically, I mean, here's the breakdown of the first 50 that we did and the packages I sold. The majority of them bought a mobile website. Where I sell the mobile websites for $5.99 each, and obviously depending on your business, you can decide whether you want to go down with it or up with it, depending on the industries. You're obviously going to be able to charge, say, a dentist or a lawyer more than you would a mom and pop restaurant or something like that. So you want to play with your price points and see what works in your local area. But this is what I've done so far. $5.99 each on average for a mobile site. A couple of them needed just a whole new website overhaul, so we sold a couple of those. I did 2 of them at $900 each. I did a lawyer at $1,500. I sold a mobile app for $1,300, and then as far as the recurring monthly, that's for I'm setting them up on text message marketing and the appointment setters. So I'm charging $200 a month for that. I got right off the bat, I got 6 people to sign up for that. So that's how I got the $1,200 in reoccurring, and like I said, I mean, I've thus since just some of the people that bought the mobile sites from here, once they had them for a couple of weeks now, and they've been playing. I'm also keeping in contact with all these people, just like you are trying to set up for them. You want to be able to set something up like this for yourself, so you can constantly keep your name in front of them, and we're running this, we're doing this special now with text message marketing or mobile coupons or whatever the case may be. So, I've already had a couple of people call back and say, this is working good. You had mentioned something about mobile coupons. What's that about? And so I'm getting recurring business just from having done, just a mobile site.
Okay. And I just wanted to confirm you're using our, right here with the appointments, our appointment manager, right? That you're getting basically for those closes, and I know that's worked out quite well for you. You said with that lawyer that you were trying to close, that kind of pushed him over the edge, right?
Right. I mean, that was definitely my first. That was my first success with your guys' stuff. I mean, I had bought some of the mobile sites back in the day, or the templates rather. I mean, I've used them to sell some mobile sites, but once I saw the WP lead explosion and Squeeze My Billionaire, I mean, if you can't get excited about this stuff and see the potential of how it can make you money, you should check your pulse, because it does everything. It does literally everything for you. So, and so we were on the webinar for the Squeeze My Billionaire, and you had said something about the appointment center, and I had an attorney that I've been going back and forth with for a couple of weeks that was a referral. And he always enjoyed talking to me. I mean, we had conversations. I just could not get this guy to pull the trigger, and I just couldn't find that one sweet thing thing that I knew would kick it over for him. And so we were on the call, and you had mentioned the thing about the appointment setter, and I said, oh, well, this would be fantastic for him, because we had mentioned, in our talks how, I'd asked him where he loses time or money, and he told me that it was he would set up an appointment, then they were, for whatever reason, somebody might not show, and then instead of having the opportunity to refill that slot, it's usually just wasted. So, especially with attorneys, when they're charging by the hour, they're losing money like that. So, I called him up while we were on the webinar, and I said, look, we just rolled out this mobile suite, me and a couple partners. I know that you had mentioned the fact that a good place that you're losing money is with lost appointments. So we've developed this aspect of our mobile suite that allows you to keep in contact with them, through text message, and if for whatever reason, you send it out 24 hours in advance, so should for whatever reason they need to cancel, you get the alert, and then you have a good notice and say, I've got time to turn around and reschedule this, and I'll, have your secretary or whoever find other people, to fill that opening, and now instead of just losing that hour to 2 hours, now you can replace it with somebody else, and that will bring you in more income. Well, I couldn't even get it out fast enough. He understood it, was excited. He said, all right, let's do it. And then I turned it around, and, I made a $900 sale off of him. So, there's so many different facets of this thing and what it does. It could, and you never know. What appeals to one person might not appeal to the other. And like I said, I've pitched him on everything for a good 2 weeks, and then just something as simple as that was able to get him excited and close the deal. And I was able to close that sale while we were on the webinar, and that was like my real first success with these two things, and got me amped, and I just decided to go full force and start, rocking it out. And in 2 months with these two programs, I think I've invested maybe $400 or $500, and with direct mail and everything else, maybe I invested $1,000. It's turned into $25,000. So who wouldn't do that all day long? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Cool. Thanks for that, because that's exactly what it is. You got to have the whole system from the start. Hey, how do you effectively generate the leads? To, one of the variable parts is, all right, closing. I think that's the variable part. But then, all right, let's have the system set up that we also can do the fulfillment very, very easily. Have all of the tools necessary. So whether it's the appointment manager, whether it's the contract, whether it's the questionnaires, just so all of those systems are set up and lined up, that you don't spend 20, 30 hours with that client and just for a couple $100, but you can effectively kind of set either your outsourcer up or even yourself, not do it, make sure that you kind of do it pretty easily. Okay, so that timeline, I thought, like you said, that was amazing. And so I kind of want to ask everybody on here, now that we ran through Noah's method, I want to go into something that's kind of a special opportunity that I'm really excited about, because we're handpicking a couple people, and we've already been doing interviews, but we're handpicking a couple people to potentially work with us. So I want to ask everybody on here if that sounds kind of exciting to you. So if that sounds as exciting as we're excited to potentially work with Squeeze Moby and Noah Warren to basically make your campaign successful. Now, and if that sounds exciting, please put a yes, because I'm gonna go. Gary's saying yes, of course. Now, so I want to kind of jump into this and tell you a little bit about this, what we prepared. And like I said, we're only picking 5 people for this. But, and we could talk a little bit about upsells after, but the application. So we're only picking, like I said, 5 people for this. And the people that we pick for this partnership program, there is an option. There's two options, but the one option, we're actually going to do all of the lead gen and direct mail for you, meaning we're going to be writing those letters for you, so that whether it comes to this one right here, let me show you, having this script and having everything handwritten, like you see here with this, putting either the dollar bill, putting the lumpy mail object, depending on what niche and what actual business it is, so that it is completely targeted, and as well generating the leads that are very highly targeted. And we have our own kind of proprietary systems that do generate the leads, and we get different types of email addresses that a lot of people do not have access to. So we're going to be doing all of that lead gen for you, so that basically Noah Warren's system works. And if something works, then why change it up? Now, will it always get 24%? Who knows? But the fact of the matter is that it does work, and the response rate is good. And even if it's not getting 24%, even if it's 10, 15%, that is still an enormous response rate. Now, the thing that we're going to need from the people that we hand pick for this and that fill out this application, and that we get on these interviews, is we need to make sure that if we send the leads your way, you're going to be able to, number one, scale, number one, close those leads, actually talk to them, and even if you're not maybe good at closing right now, that you have that potential, that we can train you up, and you're not just gonna go let those leads go to waste, and we're sending you all these leads your way that can turn into $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 clients, especially when you look over it over the lifetime and you take them through a deeper sales funnel and you're just throwing them away. So that's number one thing. The second thing, that you're willing and you're excited about scaling this up. Now if you're okay with, all right, hey, I'm just going to have something that's going to make me $2,000 a month, and I'm okay with that. I just want to send a couple direct mail pieces. Those aren't the type of people necessarily that we're looking for. We're looking for people that are go-getters, that are committed, and that are going to scale this up and make this a minimum. This is a minimum six-figure business, and that's minimum. I'm looking for mid-six-figure business, because we're going to give you the infrastructure for it, whether it's from the lead gen side all the way as well to the fulfillment side. So we're giving access as well for people that don't have it, and if you do, then we're gonna give it for free to our Squeeze Mobiliaire platform, to the Platinum Edition, which is $333 a month, and just so you have the ability to fulfill. So whether it's that appointment manager, whether it's all of those templates that you see, you're going to have access to that, and as well as all of the stuff that Noah was talking about, so that hey, this is how I follow up with the questionnaire, this is how I close on the mobile site. So all of that good stuff is going to be included, but that's not the big thing. I mean, the big thing is we want to work together with you. So what's more important for me, in my opinion, is the ability as well to interact with us, and the ability for us to give you guidance. And we need to know that you're the type of person that if we give you guidance, because okay, you might be making a mistake that's easily costing you $5,000 a month, but that when we tweak that, when we say, hey, try this way, try this, okay, let me look at your campaign right now. All right, you're making these mistakes, you need to change this up when you're closing your clients, that you actually implement those changes. So, and I think a lot of you saw it in the email, but I am going to work. And guys, does the link work? Because a couple people are saying that the link is not working. Okay, Waldo, it is squeeze.mobi.com/Noah. Okay. It is Squeeze, and Avi will put that in, and if he has not yet, I don't know, but let me put that in here, okay? And we're going to be holding interviews for this. We're going to be holding interviews for this tomorrow and Monday. So if you do if you do apply, then we're going to be talking with you one-on-one. We just have to make sure that you are the right person for this program, okay? Because it is a very intensive program, and we just need to make sure that if someone applies for this program and we accept them, that this is a high caliber person. That's also because we're going to have a Skype group, and that's going to be one of the biggest things. The Skype group, because you have access now to Noah, and if you're doing maybe the closing, or if you have a question, not only to Noah but also to your peers that are also going to be very high caliber and can give you feedback. All right, so it's not about, all right, just watch this and try to figure out how to do it yourself. No, it's about building successful businesses together, and it's a completely different type of program. So let me go over a couple more things. Let me go over a couple more things that this is going to involve. Okay, so if you saw my email, I'm just gonna run you through these, and I hope my screen is frozen, or I hope you could see this email as well. Okay, so so right here, we're going to have the mastermind trainings. We're going to meet once a week. You're going to meet with Noah once a week. It's going to be primarily, Noah's going to be the lead on this and on all the mastermind trainings and on your one-on-one sessions. So meeting once a week, but the difference is, all right, like right here, I love GoToWebinar, and it's good because we have over 100 people in the room right now. So, I mean, I can't get all of you on a voice call right now. But, when the group is down to approximately 5 or 10 people, and we're limiting this as of right now, we decided, all right, we're only going to do 5 people. And that decision for now still rests. We're only doing 5 people. You can have an open Skype group conversation. Everyone can chime in. You could talk. You can actually say, all right, hey, I did this week. Let me share my screen. Let me drop a join.me link, and let me show you my screen. Let me show you what's going on. And once I show you, all right, give me some feedback right now. So it's a little bit different because we could give you live advice, real-time advice, that unfortunately it's a little bit tough when we have a community of 10,000 people. So that's why we only want to pick the high caliber people that when we give that advice, you implement it, you run with it, you make those changes, and you scale up quick. And that's the biggest thing about it. And also, you're able to contribute. You're able to contribute to the other members. You're willing to contribute, and you want other people to have success, not just yourself, because you understand that if the person right next to you that's a part of this group has success, then that's going to improve your success. So when you're doing split testing, when you're testing different types of new campaigns and how to increase conversions, you want other people to actually be taking action, because all right, now I could take that feedback and implement it in my own campaign and set up my own systems and really figure out how all this is working. So once a week, a different topic regarding the training, but then feedback on what is currently going on, so how to optimize your campaigns. And once a month, there's going to be a personal session with Noah himself, and this is to just get you back on track in case there's anything that you need to do one-on-one that you don't want necessarily to be shared within that group, and maybe some issues that you want to bring up. And but the biggest thing is going to be that Skype group where everyone's going to be able to communicate with each other and build on each other's success, and that's why it needs to be small, because everyone needs to participate, everyone needs to be a go-getter, and everyone needs to commit that they are going to be focused on making this a success. So we're only picking people that we know that are going to be successful. So that's why there's a requirement for the interview, because it's exactly like when we were picking our project manager, we needed someone that had certain type of traits, certain type of qualities, and a ton of people applied. I think over 100 people applied. We ended up going with one project manager, because I mean there's certain people that are a little bit more cut out for it and a little more motivated, and that's the biggest thing. It's the motivation. It's the motivation. It's the drive. It's the willingness to learn. Accountability partners as well. Just in case Noah, for example, can't hold you accountable, just in case Noah can't hold you accountable enough, you're going to have another accountability partner as well along with it to make sure, all right, these are my goals for this week. This is what I'm going to do. And once I do that, then I need to make sure I follow through. And I need to make sure my partner follows through as well. And if you go to that accountability partner meeting with your accountability partner, which is another peer from your group, and you say, all right, I just wasn't able to do it this week, you're going to feel like crap. All right, because you're going to not only be stopping yourself from moving forward, but you're also going to be stopping your accountability partner as well. So on top of that, direct email access to Noah, so that you can touch base with him whenever you need, in case there's something a little bit more one-on-one that you don't want to share within that Skype group, and milestones that we're going to be hitting together. Okay, so if this sounds, if you think that you are going to be cut out for this program, then I want to show you right here this application right here. Okay, and let me show you how this is going to work. Okay, give me 1 second. So right here we have this. So go to squeeze.mobi/Noah, and I'm going to walk you through this application. Okay, and right here, if you go down here, and this is actually, there were some updates to this, because so if you go here and you go down, all you have to do is basically just put in your name, put in your email address, and put in some goals, all right, and just let it flow. We don't care about your grammar. We don't care how this is written. What we want to know, we want to get a sense of who you are and where you're headed. Are you a goal-oriented person, or are you not? So whatever, these can be just one sentence answers, but putting something down that we can discuss during the interview is important. Now, what about your challenge? What about your challenges as well? How much have you invested, and are you willing to invest a little bit more? Are you willing to do something with this to take it a little further? Okay, and then you could tell us when we can contact you so that we can get in touch with you tomorrow or Monday. Please make sure that you are available at both of these times. The deposit is only $197. It is fully refundable, so if you don't get accepted, you're going to get refunded right away. Just want to kind of be very clear about that. It is fully refundable. We're going to shoot it back to you right away if we decide, hey, this is not right, or even if you decide, all right, this is not necessarily right for me. Okay, cool. But if you are not at your interview, we're going to call you even without confirming it. I will try to confirm, but even if we don't confirm it, please be on Skype and on your phone at that time. Otherwise, it does make your deposit non-refundable. We just don't want to be, waiting around. We're quite busy with a lot of these interviews. We don't want to be waiting around. So please just think about a time, and we'll figure it out. Okay, and then you can hit submit. And if you saw, in the email, a couple people are asking, hey, what is it after that? It is the coaching is $1,970, so $1,970 a month after that. And if you want us to do your entire direct mail campaigns, which is 5 direct mail pieces a day, then that is going to be $2,970 a month after that. So like I said, we're only going to be choosing 5 people for this. And I'm looking forward to a lot of people in your guys' applications. Like I said, also, if you're not motivated, then please don't apply. But if you are, then I look forward to speaking with you on the interview, and we can kind of touch base on that as well. Now, I will now open it up to questions. And let's see who else is on here and what I can help you out with. All right, so Jurgen, you said you missed quite a bit. Will I be sending out the replay? I am not sure yet. We are not sure about the replay. I have to touch base with Noah on that, and we'll figure that out. Okay, so. Let's see. Let's open it up and let's see if anyone has any questions. If not, then we're gonna wrap it up and we'll close off on this. Okay. All right, Jurgen. But Jurgen, and I know kind of your situation. I do recommend that if you're kind of willing to jump on this, I would love to see you in the group, and if you would love to at least get on a call to see if this is something that would be right for you. I think you are definitely the caliber of the type of person that would that could jump on this. Okay, so and what are you asking, John? Will Tomobi be open to those who don't apply? Yes, John. If you want to go, to Squeeze Mobilionaire, yes. If you go to squeezemobilionaire.com, you can get in on that. It's approximately $250 a month. So if you want access to that software, then you can get it through our site. And yes, that is as well going to be included in the application if you get accepted to the program. Okay. All right, guys. So and the platinum. Hey, Pat. Pat is actually the platinum version. Is you get more apps and you get more sites. So with the regular $250 version, and actually the platinum version, that was only opened up for a very short period of time, and that there's no public link to that. But the regular version only includes, I think 3 sites and 3 apps. The platinum version includes basically 500 sites and 500 apps. So pretty much almost unlimited with you don't pay anything extra for the sites and the apps. Okay. All right. So let me look right here, and we're gonna wrap this up in a couple of minutes.